Shalom. This week we are reading Parashat Masei. It's the last, final Torah portion of the book of Bamidbar, Numbers. Are you having a hard day today? Are you having maybe a hard life, do you feel? It may be par for the course, because there's something special, unique, even extraordinary, that each one of us has to accomplish during our sojourn on earth. And every step of the way until we get there is precious, because we would not have come to this point in our lives. We would not be who we are, and we would not be where we are today had we not passed this way. And it's not always easy. There are journeys, travels, that we all have to embark upon, that we are all in the midst of even now, both in our individual lives as well as in the lives of our people. And that is one of the main themes of this week's Torah portion of Parashat Masei. These are the journeys of the children of Israel who went forth from the land of Egypt according to their legions. There are so many levels of meaning in the repetition of these 42 journeys. Number 42, there's a sacred name of Hashem with 42 letters. The holy Baal Shem Tov teaches that from birth to death, from the process of emerging from the womb until the end of life, from here to there, from outside to inside, to Eretz Israel, there are journeys. And these journeys in Parashat Masei also allude to the life journeys that we all must make, and there is no shortcut. Now, here, beginning in chapter 33, Parashat Masei, in the book of Numbers, these journeys are recounted and recollected, and all told, there are 42 journeys. Every step of the difficult way, those years in the wilderness, there were years of punishment, sin of the spies. There were hardships to get to Eretz Israel. There must have been so many photographs and memories, and each verse of the last location is repeated, because everywhere that we were in a place that became part of us. So the name of each way station that we departed from is also repeated in every verse. The experience that we went through is the experience that we need. And there's so much that the children of Israel had to go through in order to reach the end. But now, at this point in our Torah reading, end of the book of Numbers, we're about to begin the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy, the final reproach, the final summation of Moshe before the people are about to step into the land. Now the people are preparing to leave the wilderness behind and enter into the promised land. The debt has been paid, enough is enough. It's time to get on with our lives as individuals and as a nation. And there's only one place that we can do that. That is, get on with our lives as God declared, and that is the land of Israel. So why are we going over all of this with such tremendous detail? What is the significance of such details? The repetition found in the beginning of the Torah portion is really immense. Why do we have to go through all of these places that we stayed in? Are there plaques there? Are these tourist spots, for example, that we should revisit and want to see? You know that all across the northeast of America, for example, there are signs proclaiming George Washington slept here. And in New York State alone, there are dozens of such signs. So, Rashi cites a midrash, the beginning of our Torah portion, regarding the obsession, as it were, that the verses seem to have with recalling all of these way stations. Rashi cites the midrash parable of a king whose son was taken ill, and the king took him far away to be healed. And that journey that the king embarked upon with his son, we can only imagine how fraught it was with pathos, with uncertainty, with anxiety. The king's beloved son is taken ill. He is beside himself with concern. And they go along this really difficult trek for him to be healed. And the mission was successful. And coming back already, on the return journey, seeing all of these places that along the way, when the king was taking the son, he associated with this uncertainty, this almost dread for his child's future. Now, seeing all of those places filled the king with this sort of whimsical, winsome, wistful nostalgia. He recalled all the stops along the way by name. Rashi states, recalling all of the steps and travail that were part of the effort that he made to heal his child. And he gazed out almost longingly at these places with love and recalled, and he said, oh, I remember, we slept here. And here your fever was so high we had to cool it. And here your head hurt. So this is a recounting of love and fulfillment and thanksgiving, the end of an era and the enthusiastic beginning of another. The real time of health and healing that we've been looking for, together with our Father the King, is about to begin. But like, nobody ever stops, for example, look at all the names of these stations, nobody ever stops at Tachat or Tarach or Mitka and says like, oh, longingly, wistfully, dreamingly, oh man, I loved it here. Let's get out and take a selfie at Tachat or Tarach, you know? It's like the ultimate been there, done that, get me out of here. It's absolutely history because now we are going into the promised land. And that is our attitude about all the places that we had to go through to get to where we are now. It was fraught with anxiety and concern. Now that we're home, we can look back at it. But it wasn't an easy time. So why should we still be putting up plaques and institutions and homes and anti-defamation leagues and all sorts of edifices in all the places of our wanderings, romanticizing them as if they, God forbid, are the ultimate destination of our dreams, the places that we were intended on staying in? Like the boy in the story, our heads hurt plenty. So it's time to go in. And here we are in this Torah portion and, of course, in history, ready, poised to go in. So, you know, are we going to wistfully treasure and longingly romanticize our painful stay in those places that haven't yet ended of our own volition? The time for remembering is only when we're on our way out, and it's only worth mentioning and remembering because it was part of the process of coming home, because we came through there on our way home. So this week we read, this very week, as Israel is going through everything that it has to go through to make this land its own, we read these verses in this week's Torah portion. Hashem spoke to Moshe in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you and destroy all their temples, destroy their molten idols, and demolish their high places. You shall clear out the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to occupy it. You shall give the land as an inheritance to your families by lot. To the large, you shall give a larger inheritance, and to the small, you shall give a smaller inheritance. Wherever the lot falls shall be his. According to the tribes of your fathers, you shall inherit. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then those whom you leave over will be as thorns in your eyes, as spikes in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they will harass you in the land in which you settle. And it will be what I had intended to do to them, I will do to you. And then we learn about the boundaries of the land of Israel. And Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, the verse states, command to the children of Israel and say to them, when you come to the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you as an inheritance, the land of Canaan according to its borders. So first of all, again, all those way stations serve their purpose. Purpose was getting us here, and now they are a thing of the past. So why would someone willingly stay in the desert to enjoy the nostalgia? And did I miss something here? Or is there something here that the people of the land of Israel, the people of Israel in the land of Israel have to apologize for? We didn't read anything here about the role of the United Nations or the USA or the European Union. Where's the Palestinian Authority or Hamas or a two-state solution? Where's the part about 5 million Israelis being within Hamas rocket range and terrorist squads coming to murder us in our beds? This week's Torah portion, as Israel once again fights for her very survival, like every battle It is a battle for our very existence. We are reminded of our borders and of our inheritance, of the command to clear out the land and settle it. And so the Torah's message to the Jews who choose to remain outside the land, you might not like this. The Torah's message is, we look back with an understanding, appreciative and sympathetic gaze over all the steps along the way of our 2,000-year journey to the land of Israel. But why put down imaginary roots in foreign lands and celebrate every painful stop along the way with a plaque? There are enough memorial plaques to the past. And to Mr. Ban Ki-moon and the Honorable Mr. Obama, Mr. Kerry, there is a message here for you as well. This is God's message to Israel. Please be informed. When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, destroy all their temples, destroy their molten idols, and demolish their high places. You shall clear out the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to occupy it.